What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 19 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Skulltaker Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have pretty much destroyed Kairos' faction. I mean, he does still have 5 territories by the looks of it, but his sallying out of his capital at the Fortress of Dawn was probably his last hurrah, or I should say new capital, since the Fate Weaver's crevasse has long fallen. Oh, we stopped to take the settlement. Alright, we'll deal with that in a second. Anyway, in addition to that, we left the episode off with the siege of Tyrion and another army. Lillian against Skulltaker here. I was hoping to allow Skulltaker to heal up his perpetually heavily damaged army here, but Tyrion decided to siege us rather than attack us. And I just want to point out the cowardice of the AI here. I mean, look at how damaged our army is. He's got 2 stacks together, and he'd rather siege than actually attack us. And I know that this wouldn't happen in SFO, because in SFO the AI is less of a coward, assuming that the reversion of the AI has been undone at this point, and would have actually tried to fight this, because they really should have. But anyway, that's alright. We'll Celiad, we'll take him, and then hopefully we'll get our retrofit soon. Our forces are converging here, after all. Now, in terms of what we gotta do this turn other than this, let's see what else there is. First of all, Sam here. This little army needs to be destroyed, though now that I think about it, we should probably send another little army to reinforce, or else the auto-resolve will damage these guys, and then we'll end up giving Skulltaker damaged troops, which I'm sure will annoy him to no end. I was hoping to send the Doomfeasters out to Torsathai, but well, let's just hope that this doesn't do too much damage auto-resolve-wise. Let's find out. Don't screw us on this auto-resolve. Decisive victory, low casualties. Let's give the Banner of Swiftness to you. Actually, your speed is 48 on the War Shrine. You're actually faster on the War Shrine without the Banner of Swiftness than the various named units of... they're all named. Various named units of Bloodletters. Alright. It's fine for now, I guess. 59 move speed, and that's discounting Strider as well. Damn, that's a very fast War Shrine. Reminding me of Grease's Goldtooth and his new cavalry scooter. Anyway, we will... I'm gonna say heal up. Keep this army at near to full HP for the transfer. And, ooh... I guess we could actually send them to Eagle Gate. They probably wouldn't be... Oh, wait, do you have Siege Attacker on you? You do. Alright. I didn't realize that they would be close to Eagle Gate, but we gotta bring these gates down anyway. So while we're here, Kuhar, we're gonna send you to hit Eagle Gate together with Half-Deer. And I'm just gonna hope that you can both actually... victory. Okay, that's not great. That you can both reach it. On the other hand, does this warrant an actual fight? Let me just see here. Not really. I mean, they have a Phoenix, but otherwise it's a fairly basic. It's a level 3 gate, I take it, rather than level 4, hence no Phoenix Guard or anything like that. Yeah. Alright. We could send one of these guys to help you. I was gonna send them down to Whitefire Tor, but there are no defenders there, which is probably fine. Neither of you can reach Evershale either. And, oh, you can reach Toralir, but we could converge on Toralir afterwards. 2 armies traveling down this way to Lothar, 2 armies traveling this way down to Lothar, and then converge with Skulltaker here, and then teleport Skulltaker out. And that is what makes sense to me. No, fine. We'll send you to Toralir then, Crimson Eaters. You got a pretty solid stack here. I wonder, would we be able to use you to reinforce a Toralir and still reinforce here? Maybe. Let's try it. I'm hopeful. Oh, I shouldn't have put you in march stance. Probably too late now. Yeah, I might have to still march you in. Alright, oh, wait. Will not march stance for the auto-resolve, which should be very minimal damage. Pretty much only damage to the Chaos Spawn, but the auto-resolve has always kind of hated Chaos Spawn, so that's hardly surprising. I forgot to check whether there was something at Whitefire Tor that we wanted. It is 16,000 skulls, though, and I think this time we'll actually take the skulls. Cover the skulls. And it had gems. Probably not crazy useful to us right now. It's fine. Probably could have kept it, but whatever. We'll keep Toralier, I guess. Honestly, Toralier would have been less useful. Oh, you know what we could do? Finally a use for this. I couldn't find a better use for it anyway, so we could probably use Khorne's Galera on it. And I might in a second, but I want to see what else we have as options. Let's move you. Okay, we need you to be close enough, but not so close that you get intercepted. So try here. Alright, is this good? Alright, no interception, and are you in reinforcement range? You are not, so we need to get slightly closer without that interception thing. Come on now. Okay, that's good. Then we do the same thing with Half-Deer, though I fear that that might not be possible. I'm not sure, because can you reinforce from the other side without it being entitled an interception? Because this guy's... yeah, I don't think you can. Alright, let's just hope that this is sufficient. Ooh, close victory. Alright, we'll see. If I have time, I might do that between the episodes. Let's just not move these guys for the turn. We'll send the Doom Feasters out to Tor Sathai since they can't reach Val's Anvil, which is actually another good option for the free settlement thing, and this is also Pyrrhic victory. Alright, we'll see about those. But I want to keep it to the better battles. You can move here. And then, Krulust, or Krulust. We're also going to go here to see if there were any enemy armies coming in. I don't see any, so I think we're okay. Let's move you out here. I think so. And then we'll pop you in to help at Val's Anvil. And if we wait here for Tor Sathai, we could actually have you reinforce them, and then that'll be no problem. Then, of course, all of these guys are going to be traded to Half-Deer Nightbane, who would then also want to potentially move down here. If we assault this place, we will definitely take damage. Alright, well, we'll consider. We will... I will try not to forget about it. You, Bone Reapers, are headed towards Evershale. You obviously can't reach it this turn, but that's fine. If you go here, could you raid? Well, let's find out. Raid... no, alright, so just stay relatively close. Gaian Vale, we kept that War Arena for the tier upgrade, yeah, maybe. Crimson Beast to Tor Fanu, which we want to actually occupy because of the irons, so we will auto-resolve and occupy. Not a bit of damage, but this is one of our weaker blood hosts, so we don't care as much about it. Let's go for occupy directly. And we get to keep the iron, but we don't care about the simmering anger. I think, pretty much everybody in our faction's angry enough for all of us. Alright, next, who do we have? I have not been doing this in order. Alright, Crimson Beast. Alright, so all of you guys, the older blood hosts. Slaughter Host. Alright, so you guys are gonna keep approaching this direction. Hopefully we get to at least auto-resolve you a couple of times. And I guess we could have you land here. Wait. Scarlet Hunters, you're gonna auto-resolve this in a second. Oh, what the freaking heck? Are you kidding me? The siege failed and these guys got to re-recruit a bunch of stuff. Oh, wow, game, why? I don't understand why it does that sometimes, because same thing happened here as happened here, except this siege didn't fail. The Terror Masters are still besieged. Oh, speaking of the Terror Masters. How dare you? How dare you? Alright, anyway, we will... do this, and apparently you don't have siege attackers, so I guess I should have... Man. Wait, what survived? I just want to see this. They survived with 1 unit of archers with 9 HP. Oh, man, alright. Alright, well, I guess you're gonna have to wait there, Terra Master. There's nothing to be done about it. Who's up next after Valnir? Scarlet Hunters, yeah, back to you, Kent. We wanted to land you guys right here, if possible. I'm hoping that it is. I don't know why the game gets laggy or you start dropping frames when you do that. It gets very confused about the pathing. Alright, you land, that'll help with the auto-resolve, and hopefully we'll take... wow. 345 losses, everybody got severely damaged. Kairos. Tzeentch shenanigans, and we will occupy this rather than sack it, even though it's a lot of resources, because we could take it to tier 3 and keep the Dawn's Harbor, and a free Jugger plant, apparently. I'll take it. And we'll go for the Cultist Camp, which, the passive ability is useless because it's only for armies in province, but the melee attack plus 1 for all armies is actually surprisingly useful, plus an armor of fortune. And the the reason that it's useful is that while most of our units, while almost all Khorne units have very high melee attack and very low melee defense, the Khorne Gores, which we're going to be using in one of our new armies, are the opposite. They have very low melee attack and high melee defense, and surprisingly little charge, which is kind of interesting, because the Beastmen are supposed to have just high charge in general. They have their Primal Fury and low charge, but it might be on par with base Beastmen units just without buffs, so I'm not entirely sure. I suppose it doesn't really matter. Let's see, who's up next? Who do we still have to move? Okay, Terramasters, you're sieging for the turn. Red Harvesters. You two are supposed to attack the Venom Glade, and still probably going to have to fight this manually. Wrathful Feasters. I guess you're going to attack the Witchwood, which is worth a lot of money, or a lot of skulls, which we're definitely going to want to take. And it's probably pretty sparsely defended. Pyrrhic victory, really? Huh, I might have to reinforce. It'll still be a victory, but then this army will be completely non-viable. If we move you, are you in range, or are you just out of range? You could be very, very slightly in range, I can't tell. Guess we're going to find out. I mean, the extra turn won't make any difference anyway. We could even stop you attacking. Ah, no, you're fine. Alright, auto-resolve like this. There we go, much less damage. It hurt the Brutes of the Hound, but, well, what can you do? And then here I think we're going to take the massive amount of skulls. There we go. And, ooh, a potion of healing. We're getting some good stuff. We don't care about the Witchwood because it's a red territory, and frankly, it has no trade goods or anything like that. Relic Sword. I'm starting to build up the Executioner's Axes and Eternal Blade and the blue weapons. I'm saving those for our new lords, which are getting their armies ready. Alright, and then Volnir Dal, you can start moving this way. Wrathful Feasters, rather. Wrathful Festers would have probably been a Nurglite force. Huh, we could also move you up here. Fight some Tomb Kings, might be fun. Probably not for very long, and ooh, Katep isn't at war with anybody, meaning there's a very high likelihood that he will declare war on us. Alright. Arbal, are you in range yet? You are not. You're one turn away from at least the Bleeding Spire. And then I guess you can move on towards the Gallows Tree and Zunbajin and the Nurglite forces. Lovely. Crimson Legion, who are you? Oh, it's you guys. Alright, you guys I think can move, or at the very least you can. I want to have you scout out what's out here. Let's see if they've got they've got a little tiny army. Can hardly be called a stack, but stay near it. We'll see where it moves after this. It's got limited choices, really. I imagine it'll probably try to run. Oh, it'll probably try to march stance into one of these territories. We're also near some greenskins in the form of the Bloody Hands. Huh. Two highly physically resistant forces, and another potential fight here against Abyssa. Alright, I think we're closing in on the end of the turn, or the end of the stuff that we have to do that isn't fighting. Crimson Harvesters. We have to send you southward to pick up this stuff that was left in Skulltaker's wake. So go for it. And we'll allow whatever is left here to self-colonize while we raise it all for skulls. Maybe occupy a couple things now that we have skulls. And ooh, wait. Did that give us enough? No, we're still... Huh. Oh, we have to... Right. We have to fill this up by actually using the Skull Throne. Well, we can use the Fury's Flight, potentially. Okay, we got 215 more essence. Yes, alright. Now, Skulltaker, it's time to fight once more. Tyrion, you're not gonna run, are you? Pyrrhic victory, casualties high, and the AI still refused to actually attack us. Let's make these cowards suffer, and maybe crush their skulls beneath our cloven hooves, because their cowardice makes their skulls not worthy of a place on the cloak. Go.
Skulls and blood for the blood god, for Lord Khorne.
Oh man, the environmental pop-in just looks so weird when it's down on the ground like that. But well, what can you do? I don't think there's a setting, as far as I'm aware, that controls how distant that is, or even if there is, I don't know if you can get any further than this. Not that my PC would be able to handle it, but anyway, here we go. We gotta make Tyrion suffer, punish him for his cowardice here, which Skulltaker, I'm sure, is actually probably not particularly adept at doing, at least not with regards to Tyrion and his basically maxed out fire resistance due to Skulltaker's fire damage. We also, in this particular battle, don't know exactly where Tyrion is, as he has deployed his entire battle line in kind of an entire line, with Tyrion over on the right flank for some reason instead of in the center where Skulltaker went in looking for him. That's alright, I suppose. We got other units, and this time we're moving in and we are going to have all of our units fight rather than just wait for Skulltaker and his single entities to do the damage. Here come the something Bellowers, Hellforged Bellowers, was it? That's right, and a single volley into those Silver Guard takes about 30% of their HP, which is pretty nice. Skulltaker has been joined by Skyla, probably for one of the very last times. You know, it's actually probably appropriate that we've suffered sort of a living with our army so heavily damaged for long, since as soon as we get that upgrade, Skulltaker's army is basically going to be invincible, as it'll just recover itself to full every time it wins a fight. So we just gotta make it through. Suffer for so long with no HP to have permanent full HP. It's only fair, you know? Anyway, as we see, our Blood Crushers and our Blood Beasts and a couple of our single entities in the Blood Reapers are in there. Skulltaker and Skyla and Karanak are fighting individual units. Looks like some Illyrian Reavers and White Lions have been caught by them. And of course, they stand no chance against Karanak and Skyla, but they're here mostly to wait on finding Mr. Tyrion, who is all the way out here, and Skulltaker is finally beginning to fight him. Tyrion's stats are still pretty insane, especially considering it's Skulltaker he's facing off against, and he does have greater melee defense, and that's with his melee defense minus 24 due to the Bloody Onslaught, but he can use Feint and Riposte to counteract that. Well, either way, we've also not actually put the points into Skulltaker's cloak in order to give him personal fighting prowess as much, because clearly he doesn't really need it because his stats are insane. And either way, those stats wouldn't have helped too much against Tyrion's insane fire resistances. Anyway, the Bloodletters have arrived. They may be almost so severely damaged that they can't really fight, but we're so close now to the retrofit and to army invincibility that it doesn't really matter anymore. Even if they should die, or if we should lose some of them, it'll be alright. And the same, of course, goes for the Fleshhounds, all of which are at like 10, 12... Okay, these are summoned Fleshhounds, of course, to take the wrong ones. Very low numbers, 10 out of 32 on these guys, and they're fighting as well. Here they've overrun a unit of Rangers here and gotten plenty of kills while doing so. And a unit of spears that got destroyed by the initial charge of the Blood Crushers is coming back into the fray and for the Fleshhounds to chase down. Actually, surprisingly enjoying fighting in the woods here in this particular territory, or in these elven territories. For whatever reason, their woods are reasonably fun to fight in, because you can see enough. They're sparse enough and the maps aren't dark, so they add a little bit of nice atmosphere. Anyway, it looks like Tyrion has moved away from Skulltaker, which actually works in our favor because it's not Skulltaker that we want taking on Tyrion right now. Skulltaker can deal with these Silver Helms just fine. They stand no chance and are of no threat whatsoever to him, as he knocks out like 4 of them with every blow. Instead, Tyrion will be caught by Karanak, who stops him in his tracks with the little ghostly doggos running around, while Skyla and Karanak head towards Tyrion. Skulltaker may have trouble with him due to his fire damage, but neither of these two have fire damage on them, and Tyrion very rapidly loses half his HP, okay, 2/3 of his HP. Skyla has 1.7 weapon strength with that 1.7k weapon strength with that chainsword active, so when he actually manages to land a blow through Tyrion's insane melee defense, damn does he hit hard. Tyrion does regenerate pretty massively, but these blows continue to fall upon him. 1.7k and 1.1k, Karanak being no slouch either, and Tyrion will actually book it on out of there. Our main line is still fighting, including all the heavily damaged bloodletters and our flesh hounds. That said, because our units are so sparse and so heavily damaged, we're not really spreading them out a lot. They're just sort of traveling around in a big blob and annihilating any units that they come in contact with, which is working reasonably well enough. And the bounce power shifts to about 80% in our favor, I'd say. The enemy... Oh, it looks like Tyrion has come back, but it's once again, and it's not gonna work, buddy. Skulltaker does have the advantage of negating Tyrion's healing, but I think since Skulltaker currently has that Banner of Eternal Flame, we didn't want him near Karanak and Skyla. What I probably should have done is taken the banner off of him. Just so that he could attack with them and negate Tyrion's regeneration, but by the looks of it, it doesn't matter over much. The last of the enemy units that are still in the fight or the rest of the melee units, are attempting to run away from our own melee units, and now it's time to charge directly into the archers. The bounce power shifts to about 85% in our favor, and the enemy range units, by the looks of it, are pretty much the only ones left. There were also a few Eagle Claw bolt throwers, but they've done pretty much nothing throughout this particular battle, as they, together with the rest of the army, were deployed within these woods, making the enemy's artillery pretty darn worthless. All that besieging us, and for what, Tyrion? As once again, the red cornate skies actually look really nice with the trees. Love it. Alrighty, and I believe, judging by the fact that all of our units have stopped moving, it's the time for the enemy army to shatter. The battle's ours, and though a few of our units took damage, this unit of Bloodletters came really close, since, well, I mean, I really shouldn't be using them, but yeah, it worked out. It worked out. Plus, we always had that chance for Demons Reforged, even if they did go down, so we're still good. Alright, 8 losses, that worked out reasonably well, especially considering we did send all of our doggos and our bloodletters into the fray. Looks like the Skulltakers with 75 kills got the most out of those guys. And for everybody else, the first of the Blood Reapers, which I think is Brastad, got the most kills, with the most damage on Skyla. Still feels very weird to be not using Skulltaker to duel the enemy lord, but Tyrion just has so much fire resistance that Skulltaker does no damage to him, and there's no way to remove the fire damage from him because he's a Bloodletter. You can't toggle it off, so yeah, that's not great against certain lords like this. Anyway, the replenishment is negligible, so I think we'll take the skulls, although at this point, with 73k, we probably don't really need skulls that much anymore either. Maybe I should take the healing, I say, as I don't take the healing, but whatever. Alright, and the reinforcement army is destroyed, ally mission successful. Ooh, actually, I like that. First of all, also, Khornate mutants, that's also good. Who has spare units? Do you two have Khornate mutants? Okay, you don't. Khornate mutant 1, and... okay, you already have a Khornate mutant. Okay, who here might not have a Khornate mutant? Let's do this in order. Aha, you don't have a Khornate mutant, and that's it. Alright, how's Scarby in the Confederation chance? He's doing too well, unfortunately. It's sort of like a... it happens every time, is what I'm trying to say. Whenever you get an update to factions, those factions start doing really well. Like when the Dwarfs got the update with Malachi, they started getting really strong. Now Greenskins got an update, so we constantly see Grimgore do fairly well. We see Skarsnik obliterate the Dwarves. Look how far they've moved. I think Skarsnik is like one of the top strongest factions. He's the second strongest faction. He's the strongest AI faction in the world in this campaign, and he was in Golgi's campaign as well. So yeah, Skarsnik's really living for those updates, and I guess the Bloody Hands are doing pretty solid as well. So orcs are definitely winners, and clearly Khorne is as well. Though to be fair, Valkia does generally do fairly well up north, but Scarby is often stuck. He rarely does as well as he is here. Though, if he does get into it with the Iron Claw Orcs, that might be an interesting matchup. Anyway, let's continue where we left off. Where was that? Now, Haran Sinkswell. Perfect name, but nah. Oh, we didn't get the essence for defeating Tyrion because he didn't die because he ran away. Ugh, the cowardice continues. Anyway, go kill him. Auto resolve is probably going to hurt us more than the actual battle did, but what can you do? And, oh, our doggos game, wow. 50 losses when we lost 8. Yeah. This is, yeah, well, we're so close, though. Let us go for 0 replenishment. Is actually probably not 0, it's actually probably a tiny, but and another Khorne mutant, go figure. How close are we? Out of curiosity, where's the skull throne? How close is 6 turns until full replenishment? Okay, that's not happening. I guess we'll need to attack Angariel and Shrine of Assyrian and all that. These are probably not worth fighting, but I'm willing to bet that the auto-resolve won't let us do them. Meaning, I might do those between the episodes. Lothern is holding 115,000 gold, though at this point, it's looking like our gold is fairly okay. Granted, once our new armies are up and running, it'll probably be not so okay again, but yeah. Oh, also, we just completed the ally missions, so we don't have new ones, but one of them was for the Chaos Dwarfs, which means another Lamassu in the flying army. And next turn, a second Lamassu. Once we have 4 Lamassus, we will be quite a bit better off. Plus, of course, the Bloodthirsters, which we are a few turns away from. Huh. Well, I'll tell you, went up to next tier. Well, isn't that lovely? Well, let's upgrade you. Was there a reason I wasn't upgrading it, or did I forget you? Let me just see here. They might have gotten the upgrades during the end turn. Or during the fighting, rather. Because of the bonus growth. Infernal Citadel here. Southern Waste, so let's go for a Dimensional Rift. And I guess that's good, minus the Titan Peaks, of course, which are so close, 1 turn away from that tier 5 upgrade, giving us that lovely Sanctum of Quintex and the additional research rate. Why must it be so difficult to get research as Khorne? I feel like Khorne research should be done via some other means, like, well, maybe not just defeating an army. I mean, I don't know, you learn how to swing an axe in a slightly different way. But yeah, it's not like they've got... Well, maybe. Maybe armies should be able to spend time in, like, combat trials, and every turn they sit there, the army gains experience and you gain a little bit of research rate, as in the army is just sitting there sort of having the units duel each other, right? That kind of makes sense to me. Anyway, we got a fair few of those little tiny... Ooh, wait, are you 1 turn away or are you attacking this turn? 1 turn away, all good. We got 1 turn away from that, but we do still have this fight. Abyssa's back, and the Altar of Facades has a solid garrison. Can the Scarlet Feasters pull this off? Pyrrhic victory, casualties high. I will do all the other little mini fights between the episodes, but I think this one will be worthy of our efforts, especially considering most of the enemy army does magical damage and it's going to be a big threat to our bloodletters. Go. Alrighty, here we go. The last stand of Abyssa and a sort of Slaanesh. Their last giggle, as it were, as while Nakari's faction is destroyed and Abyssa's faction is about to be destroyed. I suppose Sigvald's still alive, but he's not a truly Slaaneshi faction, as he's a Warriors of Chaos faction. So, yeah. I mean, I suppose there's also the other Slaaneshi demonic faction that is sort of near to Sigvald and near Malice Darkblade. It might still be alive at this point, but who knows. Anyway, enemy is deployed in a big old line, and we are going to try to screw with them. Slaaneshi giggle. Hey, it's time for a few last giggles. Let's try to screw with them a little bit by deploying all of our fast movers on the right flank and seeing about how much damage we can do to the enemy army with said fast movers. So our Blood Crushers are going to move in, smashing into that line of Hellstriders and dishing out massive damage, and before they attempt to run away, having taken about 40%. That's alright by us, however, as the Chaos Chariots of Slaanesh move on in, for some reason, into the woods, only to immediately have Flesh Hounds come out of the woods, surround them, and then get hit hard in the back by the Blood Crushers. The Chariots are pretty much done, rapidly losing their HP and dropping down to 40%, but they have requested aid, and units of Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh with spears have come in. Considering both of our unit types here are large units, we do have to be careful about taking damage, especially considering the Flesh Hounds are relatively fragile, and to be perfectly frank, the Blood Crushers are pretty fragile as well. Certainly a lot more fragile than the Skull Crushers are, so we'll have to back away. But that's just fine, as the Chariots are destroyed, and by the looks of it, the Hellstriders are soon to follow. In fact, we can back away by chasing the Hellstriders down shortly. Just gotta make sure we get out of the major blob of spears. That said, it looks like this has not sufficiently annoyed the enemy army to actually move towards us. I was hoping that annoying them on the right flank would force them to try to fight us here with the cliffside to our own left flank protecting us, but it doesn't look like the enemy's falling for it. I don't know whether this is the AI being stupid or smart, however. That's always... I guess it's never a good sign when you can't tell if this is a genius strategy or an idiotic strategy. Well, we're just gonna keep trying what we're doing. Knocking out a few demonettes now, though, by the looks of it at the... wow, great air on that Slaaneshi spear. Good job. That completely made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, just gonna keep doing this on the right flank, seeing how many units we can destroy. We destroyed the Chariots, we've destroyed the Hellstriders. Well, there's more where that came from, and it does look like the Hellstriders have returned, but I'd wager not for long. Certainly they stand absolutely no chance against Blood Crushers, a terrible, terrible matchup and a high disparity in terms of troop quality. Good on them for actually trying to countercharge, though it wasn't like they were going to be able to escape the Flesh Hounds anyway. Alright, and the screwery on the flank apparently continues. The enemy main stack still refuses to attack our own main stack, just waiting for us to move in, so why not keep messing with the AI? On the bright side, this means a lot less micro for me when playing this, so why the heck not? Another charge from the Blood Crushers right into those Marauders' spears, and granted they seem to have been braced, but they still went flying, so sucks to be them, I guess. If this unit decides to remain relatively isolated, we'll charge in with the Doggos and hit them from various sides as well, backing off our Blood Crushers, who have now suffered a fair bit of damage. Although there is the hope that we can dish out more damage to them as well, and it looks like this unit is pretty much done for as well. Ooh, does look like Abyssa hits us with a Lash of Slaanesh, and those Chariots, those second unit of Chariots, have moved on in. We are, however, going to escape from Abyssa because we don't want her killing off any individual units, or I should say too many individual units. And we got Forsaken now moving in with Demonettes to attempt to chase us down. Seems like she continues to want to protect the left flank more so than whatever's going on with the main stack here, who are still just sitting pretty. But hey, lots of work for the Blood Crushers and the Flesh Hounds. Well, we're going to back away once more, and we're going to reorient our main stack in the hopes of annoying the enemy sufficiently. And, I mean, if we can maybe keep the sort of mountainside to our side. And hey, if it works on the left flank, why can't it work on the right flank? Our Bloodthirster has joined the fray, our flyers in general. The Bloodthirster lands upon the other unit of Hellstriders, and the Furies will join in to dish out massive damage to them rather quickly as well. These Hellstriders are pretty much done for as well, wavering, and have suffered massive amounts of damage, and it looks like the enemy is finally at last annoyed enough to move on in. This does, by the looks of it, mean that it will once again allow units to be isolated and for us to isolate and destroy them on the left flank. This also means that we're essentially engaged on their left and right flank, whereas 80% of their army in the center is doing absolutely nothing at the current time and not contributing to the fight, which is probably not such a good thing. Bloodletters are now going to move on into the fight, and our first sight of the Chaos Spawn will not actually be Chaos Spawn in our Chaos Spawn heavy army, under Gerald Black Raider, but in this army. but that's alright. And Demonettes are dropping fairly fast, but I do believe there is a unit of Exalted Demonettes here somewhere who should be able to do plenty of damage. Yeah, there's an Exalted, oh, there's 2 Exalted ones, which means this unit of Exalted Bloodletters is, yeah, they're gonna start dropping in HP, and fairly rapidly at that. Having lost about 30% already. More enemies are, of course, moving in. Demons are given relatively sort of even blows. I mean, the Exalted Demonettes and the Exalted Bloodletters here. See both unit types being banished here and there periodically. Gonna have to send them a little bit of help as our Blood Shrine will move in and break up their formation a little bit. Abyssa has joined into the fight as well, and it looks like the 2 spawn units were fighting each other and have done about even damage to each other. In the same manner that the Bloodletters or Exalted Bloodletters and Exalted Demonettes are dealing damage blow for blow, so are the various Chaos spawn units, which is on the one hand kind of interesting, and on the other hand not as interesting, or at the very least not as interesting compared to SFO, where the spawn, the Chaos spawn, are very, very different from each other. Granted, I really don't like the Chaos spawn of Khorne in SFO, but mostly because the auto-resolve hates them and just kills them off every time. Like, it makes them, to the point that it makes them pretty much useless to build them, as far as I can tell from the last time I had them. Basically, in SFO, the Chaos spawn of Khorne are single entities, but I guess they don't have enough HP or they don't have enough resistances as single entities, as I guess, you know, Chaos spawn are relatively fragile, and so the auto-resolve just says, yeah, no, we'll just kill them. Anyway, looks like the enemy's left flank has completely collapsed, granted at the cost of some heavy damage to our units, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we count the Forsaken, which were already damaged by our fast movers units, we're essentially kept back from the fight by the fast movers. And I think that I did a pretty darn good job, and even contributed to the fight at the end here by hitting the enemy in the back as well. Very nice divide and conquer work. I'm sure Kuchar would be proud of these guys, and, well, Skulltaker would as well, because the Blood Crushers did lead the Flesh Hounds in the fight. Very nice. Alright, there we go. A very, very fun fight, and it was nice to see the degree to which we could screw around with the AI on the flanks there before it got sufficiently annoyed and decided to move towards us, which was, as it turns out, quite a bit. The AI behavior does periodically change as they adjust numbers here and there, so yeah. Anyway, pure victory for us, a decent amount of cash as a reward, and, well, this bullet hose doesn't really need to survive anymore, but I suppose we can use it to act as a scout as we head up north. As for this particular place, skulls or money? That's a question. We're pretty okay in terms of skulls right now, but obviously if we keep using the various skull throne stuff, it's going to cost money. I also once again should have checked whether this place had a had any kind of trade goods, shouldn't I have? Yeah, what can you do? Let's go for some money. Yeah, go for money. Go for money and then occupy it. Because we have plenty of skulls to occupy it again. Or we could wait the turn and... nah, whatever, I don't care. Alright. We'll just finish them up. And we don't need this, and you can repair for now, but switch to Mortal after. Demonium Hills are now ours, so you're going to go into Monuments of Rage. And there we go. And the Southern Chaos Wastes are completely ours, and I guess you can sail out to see what Kairos has got going on out here. He does not own the Temple Avenue of Gold. Are you at war with... oh wow, you pieced out with the lizards? Cowardice. From both of you, from both Kairos and the lizards. The lizards should really be taking advantage of the weakness of this particular faction. But anyway, okay, we are 118 away from what we need to get the full recharge ability on Skulltaker. Really, really would like to teleport to Athelor and look at all that essence. Tasty, tasty essence. And of course, the crown from Vlad. Soon. Plus we have cults over there, so we could teleport there. We could teleport there at will, maybe set up some more cults. Anyway, folks, with that, we're out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Between the episodes, there's a couple of these little stupid minor battles that I'll fight, so that we don't have to waste time on them. And then next time will probably be the last episode that we spend on Ulthuan. Granted, the campaign is now starting to come to a close because, well, the interest is obviously waning. Well, at least to some degree coming to a close, I should say. I'm personally not done with the campaign, so if push comes to shove, I'll probably just move it to the second channel and continue there, because there's still a lot of the other armies to screw around with, and I personally am not done yet, and until I get bored, we're still in it. So, stay tuned for more Skulltaker. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.
We carry fierce oceans